Hey there, it's Sarah. Ever caught her gaze lingering a little too long, or noticed a playful touch that sent shivers down your spine? Well, you're about to dive into the seductive world of female body language. Today, we're revealing tantalizing signs that she's definitely into you. We'll explore each signal, from the subtlest twitch to the most blatant flirtations, guiding you through the maze of attraction. By the end of this video, you'll not only spot these irresistible cues, but also understand what each one means. Before we get started, if you feel like you could use a little expert advice in your dating life, there's a link in the description or pinned comment to book a free strategy call with one of our coaches. Now let's dive in. 1. Biting or licking her lips. First up, let's talk about one of the most classic signs of attraction: biting or licking her lips. Now, I know what you're thinking. Isn't that just a nervous habit? And sure, sometimes it can be. But more often than not, when a woman is biting or licking her lips while talking to you, it's a pretty clear sign that she's feeling a little bit flirty. You see, when we're attracted to someone, our bodies start to produce more saliva. It's like our mouths are getting ready for a little action, if you know what I mean. And when a woman is feeling that extra saliva building up, she might start to bite or lick her lips as a way of dealing with it. But here's the thing. Even if she's not consciously trying to be flirty, biting or licking her lips is still a pretty sensual act. It draws attention to her mouth, which is one of the most erogenous zones on the body. And when she's doing it while making eye contact with you, yeah, that's a pretty clear sign that she's into you. So the next time you're chatting up a cute girl and you notice her biting or licking her lips, take it as a good sign. She might just be a little nervous, but there's a good chance she's also feeling the chemistry. 2. Touching her lips or neck. Speaking of lips, let's talk about another common attraction signal: touching her lips or neck. Now this one is a little more subtle than biting or licking, but it's still a pretty clear sign that she's feeling the vibe. When a woman touches her lips or neck while talking to you, it's often a subconscious way of drawing attention to those areas. And let's be real, the lips and neck are some of the most sensual parts of the body. They're soft, sensitive, and just begging to be kissed. So when a woman is touching her lips or neck, it's like she's saying, "Hey, look at these sexy parts of my body." She might not even realize she's doing it, but on some level, she's trying to entice you. Of course, context is key here. If she's touching her lips or neck because she's got a cold sore or a sore throat, that's probably not a sign of attraction. But if she's doing it while making eye contact and smiling at you, yeah, that's a pretty clear green light. So the next time you're flirting with a girl and you notice her touching her lips or neck, take it as a good sign. She might just be a little nervous, but there's a good chance she's also feeling the spark. 3. Facing towards you. Next up, let's talk about body language. Specifically, let's talk about the way a woman faces when she's talking to you. Now, this one might seem kind of obvious, but it's amazing how many guys miss this crucial sign of attraction. When a woman is into you, she's going to want to give you her full attention. And one of the easiest ways to do that is by facing towards you. That means her body, her feet, and even her knees will be pointing in your direction. Think about it. When you're talking to someone you're not interested in, you might find yourself looking around the room or even turning your body away from them. But when you're talking to someone you're attracted to, you're going to be fully engaged in the conversation. You're going to be leaning in, making eye contact, and definitely facing towards them. So the next time you're chatting with a cute girl, take a look at the way she's facing. Is she angled towards you, giving you her full attention, or is she looking around the room, seemingly disinterested? If it's the former, congrats, my dude. She's definitely feeling the vibe. And if it's the latter, well, it might be time to move on to greener pastures. But hey, at least now you know. 4. Playing with her hair. All right, let's talk about one of the most classic signs of attraction: playing with her hair. I'm sure you've seen it before. A girl twirling a strand of hair around her finger, or maybe running her fingers through her locks while she's talking to you. But what does it all mean? Well, for starters, playing with her hair is often a sign of nervousness. When we're feeling a little anxious or self-conscious, we tend to fidget with things. And for women, hair is often the go-to fidget object. So if you notice a girl playing with her hair while she's talking to you, it could be a sign that she's feeling a little nervous around you. But here's the thing. Nervousness isn't always a bad thing. In fact, when it comes to attraction, a little bit of nervousness can actually be a good sign. It means that she cares about what you think of her, and she wants to make a good impression. Plus, playing with her hair can also be a way of drawing attention to her face and her feminine features. When a woman twirls her hair or runs her fingers through it, she's essentially saying, "Hey, look at me. I'm pretty and I'm into you." So the next time you notice a girl playing with her hair while she's talking to you, don't just write it off as a nervous habit. Take it as a compliment. She's probably into you, and she wants you to know it. 5. Prolonged eye contact. Next up, let's talk about eye contact. Now, I know what you're thinking. Eye contact? Isn't that just a basic part of human interaction? And sure, to some extent it is. But when it comes to attraction, there's a big difference between a quick glance and a prolonged gaze. You see, when we're attracted to someone, we tend to make more eye contact with them than we would with someone we're not interested in. It's like our eyes are drawn to them, and we can't help but look. But here's the thing. It's not just about the amount of eye contact, it's also about the quality of it. When a woman is making prolonged eye contact with you, she's not just looking at you, she's really seeing you. She's taking in your features, your expressions, and your overall vibe. And when that eye contact is accompanied by a smile or a playful glint in her eye, yeah, that's a pretty clear sign that she's digging what she sees. Of course, it's important to remember that not everyone is comfortable with prolonged eye contact. Some people might find it a little too intense or even creepy. So if you notice a girl making prolonged eye contact with you, be sure to read her other body language cues as well. If she seems relaxed and engaged, it's probably a good sign. But if she seems uncomfortable or looks away quickly, it might be time to dial it back a bit. 6. Mirroring your actions. Have you ever noticed how, when you're really vibing with someone, you start to mirror each other's actions? Maybe you take a sip of your drink at the same time, or you cross your legs in the same direction. Well, it turns out that mirroring is actually a powerful sign of attraction. When we're attracted to someone, our brains start to sync up with theirs. We subconsciously pick up on their movements, their gestures, and even their speech patterns, and we start to mirror them without even realizing it. So if you notice a girl mirroring your actions while you're talking to her, take it as a good sign. It means that she's fully engaged in the conversation, and she's picking up on your vibe. But here's the thing. You can actually use mirroring to your advantage. If you want to create a sense of connection and rapport with a girl, try subtly mirroring her actions. Take a sip of your drink when she does, or lean in a little closer when she does. Just be sure to keep it subtle. You don't want to come across as a creepy copycat. And remember, mirroring goes both ways. If you find yourself naturally mirroring a girl's actions, it could be a sign that you're feeling the chemistry too. 7. Leaning in closer. All right, let's talk about personal space. We all have our own little bubble of comfort, and we tend to get a little defensive when someone invades it. But when it comes to attraction, that bubble can start to shrink. When a woman is into you, she might start to lean in closer during conversation. She'll decrease the physical space between you, almost like she's being drawn towards you by some invisible force. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean she's going to be all up in your grill, but you might notice her angling her body towards you, or maybe even resting her arm on the table between you. It's like she's creating a little bit of intimacy, even in a public space. And here's the thing. Leaning in closer isn't just a sign of attraction, it's also a way to create attraction. When you lean in towards someone, you're sending a subtle message that you're interested in them. You're showing that you're engaged in the conversation, and you want to be closer to them. So if you notice a girl leaning in closer while you're talking to her, take it as a good sign. And if you want to reciprocate, try leaning in a little bit yourself. Just be sure to read her body language and make sure she's comfortable with it. You don't want to invade her space if she's not feeling it. If you're enjoying today's tips on dating, don't forget to like and comment. For a deeper transformation, consider our free 60-minute strategy call. You'll learn how to meet more women and date with newfound confidence. Click the link in the pinned comment to reserve your session with a Joyanima coach. 8. Light touches. Next up, let's talk about touch. Now I know what you're thinking. Touch? Isn't that a little forward? And sure, if you're going around groping people without their consent, that's definitely not cool. But when it comes to attraction, a little bit of light touch can go a long way. When a woman is into you, she might find little excuses to touch you during conversation.